It's a very good evening to you all. My name is Animal B, and I'm everything podcasting, everything politics, everything arts, and everything in between. Today, we'll be talking about a very sensitive topic. I guess all of you know what the topic is all about. Yes, for sure. We've seen a lot of our influencers, a lot of our artists being stuck in between the world that is the arts industry and the politics world, the tender world. What is happening? Some people are asking. The reason why we find ourselves in this whole confusion is because we are trying to survive. We are trying to live in an industry that is not favorable to its own. It's a dog eats dog industry. You have to know how to play the dice. It's either you swim or you drown. The reason why today we find our influencers having to be stuck with these men who promise them a lifestyle is because once you start being an influencer, people place you in a pedestal. They assume everything is well with you. They assume that that lifestyle that you portray there, either you are on TV as an actress or you are just an influencer, just continuing vlogging with your life. They assume that because they watch you every day, maybe you've got brands that are working with you, that dress you, that provide you with this and that. They now place you on a certain pedestal where they assume you are way better than them. And because most of these artists and influencers don't know how to differentiate in between the real world and that world that they create out of fantasy, they now get stuck in between those two worlds. Now they have to level up and live according to what their followers think or perceive they are. That is where the danger is, because when the brand struck or when those politicians come in with deals, you now have to accept them because you have got a lifestyle to level up to. You've got a people that are watching you on a daily basis who assume that everything is well with you, who assume that the car that you are driving is yours. They don't know that you've hired it actually. They don't know that you've borrowed it from a friend. They don't even know that the house that you are shooting at might not be yours. That is why we find our artists, our content creators, our DJs having to be found dealing with stuff that they are not supposed to be dealing with in the first place. Stuff like drugs, stuff like tenders, stuff like dating people that they are not supposed to be dating in the first place, like married guys, like people we have scandals. I know most of you know what we've been going through ever since the advent of, I think maybe it was December, where we've seen one of our influencers, Deborah Tobejane, having had to run away and go and stay in Dubai because of what was happening. And the person in question was one of those tenderpreneurs. We are having to deal with this on a daily basis. And sometimes you can sit down and ask yourself, why don't these people sit down and do a homework? Why don't they do their homework before they strike the deal? Why don't they do their homeworks before, if it's a deal, why don't they sit down and do their homework before they can sign on the dotted line? Reason is, as I said before, these business people are very cunning. Before they can come to you, they've already done their homework. They know your weaknesses. They know your strengths. They know where to strike, how to strike, and how to pin you down. Before you know it, you are stuck in a maze of darkness. You don't even know where to go. That is where you have to deactivate your account, an account that you have to work so hard to build, a followership that you have to work so hard to build. Because truly speaking, it's not easy to start from scratch and get to a 2 million followers. It's not an easy thing. All of us know. Especially if you're an unknown someone and you're starting your brand from scratch. It's not easy. So why are you giving those people a brand that you've worked so hard for on a silver platter, just like that, without doing your homework? In as much as it's hard surviving in this industry where you actually have to survive from hand to mouth, but before you can strike that deal, before you can sign on the dotted line, do your homework. Who are these people that want to work with you? Do you know who they are? Do you know their values? Do you know their ethics? Do you know what they stand for? Do you know who is their God in the first place? Because some of you are sending away your lives to people who actually don't follow a living God. You are sending your lives away to people who are into cults, who don't have a conscience at all, who are after money, who worship these material things. In as much as we need those material things to live, but one way or the other, you find yourself stuck because you followed someone who is not interested in your well-being, who is not interested in growing your brand, who is just interested in making money or washing their money through you. As someone who's very big on ethics, I always emphasize that before you can sign that deal, before you can sign that contract, do your homework. Some people just have values that are stated in their, what you call these ones, in their business certificates or whatever you call them, but they don't follow them. They are not accountable. They are not big on accountability. They are not big on honesty. They are not big on trust. They are not big on looking up for each other at the workplace. They are not big on transparency. You find that you have signed your life away to someone who doesn't even care about your tomorrow, who only wants to use you now, and it's done. At the end of the day, you are disappointing some people who are looking up to you. You are disappointing some people who have been working with you from day one. You are disappointing some people who've been following you and looking up to you from day one. You are now deactivating your account. And they are leaving those people in a desert with no water whatsoever. And when they ask for answers, you can't give them those answers that they need, because you are now asking them the same questions that they are asking you. How did we get here? Reason being, you didn't do your homework. They showed you piles and piles of money. They showed you a world that you always wanted to be in. They showed you the soft life, and you got carried away and forgot what your ethics are. You forgot what you really wanted to do from day one. Activate your spirit of discernment. Learn to activate your spirit of discernment. They always say politics is a very dirty game. If you are not a political person, stay away from political people. Arts and politics don't meet. We can only meet maybe when you are supposed to go perform for them, but when it comes to me, I'm big on ethics, I'm big on religion. I'm always of the notion that politicians should do what politicians do, and artists should do what artists do. If we are going to meet, it's then for that small a moment that we have to share, and then it's chai, we're done. Each and every one of us has to go each to their own. We have to go do what we are supposed to be doing. Stay away from these guys. They are going to use your brand. At the end of the day, destroy your brand, and then you are left with nothing. The brand that you worked so hard for. As an artist, try, do content creation. I always even tell my youngins that you rather better go and sell stuff on the streets. Go there and sit down and sell whatever needs to be sold. Whether it's fruits, whether it's tomatoes, whether it's clothes. Nowadays we are living in a world where social media has already made us seem like we are living in a small village, in a global village. You can run whatever business that you want to run. Stay away from these big people with big monies that you don't even know where they came from. You don't know where the source of that money is. And then you just get carried away. At the end of the day, you've lost what you've worked so hard for, because you didn't do your homework, because you were so greedy. You only agreed to just sign because you thought that is the life that I've always created in my dreams. This is the life that I've always wanted. But at what cost? At what cost, Mdana Sekai? Before I can sign off, I want to leave you with this. Before you can sign on that dotted line, who are the people that want to sign with you? What are their ethics? What do they stand for? On which God do they serve? Are you ready to transact that which you've worked hard for?